The core decision is the readiness to really work on yourself, to be ready for radical self-transformation, I would say.
Welcome to another episode of Daywalker, and today I really have a lot of topics to cover. But before I start with diving into the new culture of Tamera, I want to start with a little bit of backstory. So in 2015 I had already been backpacking through Southern Europe for a good year, and time again I would meet people who were telling me about this mysterious place in the south of Portugal called Tamera. Finally I went ahead and checked it out in the summer of 2015. There was a big event happening, the Terra Nova Summer 2015, a gathering of people from all over the world, people who work on manifesting a new vision for this planet, a peaceful culture, and they all gathered in Tamera to network, to get to know each other, and maybe most importantly to share this community experience together and see the empowerment that comes through an experience like this. I participated in this event and I have to say it was amazing. I initially came for 2 weeks to Tamera, ended up staying for the full month of this Terra Nova summer, but also 3 months after that. And I already produced some of my episodes on my Daywalker channel here in Tamera about the biogas system, about the water retention landscape, about the pressing quince juice. And of course I also joined the Walking Water pilgrimage that the Tamerians did last year during my second stay in Tamera. I came back in September 2016 and stayed for another 2 months. In this time I shot a lot of footage to make a documentary. Now what's coming out of this film idea is this episode of Daywalker. In the beginning you will see me a little bit to give some context, but then we dive into the new culture that's being established in Tamera. So let's get started. First of all, Tamera is a place, it's a piece of land, 134 hectares, it's roughly 190 soccer fields in the south of Portugal, in the Alentejo region. Quite a dry region actually, with only a few months of rain during the year. And here we see some drone footage of the landscape surrounding Tamera. Obviously that's kind of what Tamera looked like as well about 20 years ago, before the people started to move in with their project. But today it looks very different. And in this shot it's really beautiful to see on the bottom the neighboring land here in blue. And the street that was going across that big space, it was moved to the side. They dug a lake, they built a dam and started to collect the rainwater in the first big water retention space of Tamera. Today it's one of around 20 lakes that they have in Tamera, and of course these lakes change the whole water situation of Tamera and the land around. Water not only for the people of Tamera but also for the gardens and for the wildlife that's coming back and enjoying the water. And so many terraces being built around these lakes. It's actually quite amazing. To be honest, for me to drive into Tamera, coming through this dry land of Alentejo and arriving for the first time in the project and seeing this big lake where you can just walk around and snack fruit all day in the summertime, it's kind of like arriving in an oasis or something like that. And actually during my last stay in Tamera there was a water retention landscape design course taking place with an expert from Tamera, Bernd Müller. So let's check that out.
All right.
We don't have enough material, we also use of that material.
Okay.
Don't.
So here we are on the current building site of a group of trainees in water retention landscape design. And for me it is important to embed these very local activities into a global context, into what in Tamera in many areas we call the system change. that is needed for a culture that doesn't need water to sustain. We have this system change in water also, where we call it a new water paradigm. That is a paradigm of natural water management that is in cooperation with nature instead of following a track of exploitation. So here people are building structures for water retention that are called swales, that are ditches on contour, and there with a very easy to be built tool which is called the A-frame. You see this wooden tool there in the size of A. They can mark contour lines, that are lines which are on level where the water doesn't flow. But if rainwater goes into this structure it would rise, and after the rain it has time to seep into the earth body. Not a lot of technology needed to see this. They use this simple frame to measure the contour, and this work can be done with very easy means all over the world. For sure, afterwards the next step will be to bring in vast vegetation, seedings, trees, plantings, covering everything that is brown now with organic material. And then the next rain will come and things can start to grow.
And this is the same piece of land just 3 weeks later with some green coming through already, and probably by now there's a lot more vegetation there. But let's move on to a bigger scale transformation, the big lake in the south of Tamera. And this one of course is used to irrigate most of the terraces. Let's go take a look.
Here we are in the South Valley of Tamera. This is a place where we want to produce the most of the vegetable for the community and our guests. And here we are on a fresh seeded terrace with carrots. And you see some petals here. This is not from irrigation. We just had a rainfall of amount from 3 millimeters. We are really happy about this. Now is also wheat is growing. Wheat is not anymore our enemy or something else or something similar. And we will come in the next week and we will take out the wheat and we say now your task is fulfilled, and we use the wheat for mulch or make compost from this. And it is not anymore that we go with this anger, oh there's a weed we have to fight against. Yeah, this is already a change in our inner, how we deal with the beings around us. One wish is yeah, to see the results, what we already did in the last years, what we seeded and planted, especially in trees, which paradise we already created. And I'm looking forward to become older and to live in this kind of paradise, which we already started.
As we can see in this animation, there's really a lot of stuff happening in Tamera. I can't show you all of it, but what I want to do now is show you quite a lot of it. And I went to different people in Tamera to see them in their job, daily life, and speak with them a little bit about what they're doing. So Enjoy!
This is test field 1, as we call it. It's our test field for a solar village, and we are a group of 30, slightly over 30 people. Our task that we've taken on is to build a test field for the social, the ecological and the technological questions of our times, the questions of our future. How do people actually live together? And that encompasses everything from food, water, energy provision to the deep questions of social interaction. How can we show ourselves to each other without fear? How can we see each other and cooperate and communicate? So we have a living test field here for those questions. Let's have a look. Nice experiments here on the right on urban gardening, rainwater collection.
They go more into this. More into this.
So here we have groups of visiting friends and friends to be, learning and working with us, accompanied by our ecologists, sorting out the garden for the winter. Nice work. I saw the ethical basis of the work that was being done here. The ethical basis of the technological work was very, very attractive to me. But in a way, what really made me take a decision for life was at a certain point in my life, I fell in love with the world. I fell in love with nature. And I wanted then to be a gardener and to take care of nature. And this is my expression of that. Okay, so here we have the wood workshop, the metal workshop, and the energy technology group workshop. We go to my side, the energy technology side. Our little workshop. Beautiful view over the stone circle. The main project we've been working on these last few years are these rather nice membrane mirrors. Let's see. Yeah, it's just one segment, one part of a mirror, but it's a lightweight, inflatable, high precision solar concentrator. Beautiful little thing, one part of a bigger mirror that reaches a concentration of about between 500 and 1,000 suns for cooking, photocatalysis, and much, much more.
Here we are in the test field 1 in the solar village, and this is the test field kitchen of Tamera. And what we do is we work basically on cooking only with renewable energy. That means we have Hulda over there, our biogas system, and we have the Schäffler over there, which normally we would cook our whole meal on if the sun would shine, which is not happening today. So that's the technology part, and then we also have the food experiment part, where we are trying to set up a regional autonomous kitchen, which basically only uses ingredients which we are already producing ourselves, or which fairly simple we could produce ourselves, or our surroundings, the neighboring surroundings. And so as an example here, we have the first mushrooms of the season, which are grown by our mushroom master Jan. And this is something we are actually very excited about, so that we also just get not everyday food, just of course we have a beautiful garden which provides us with a lot of beautiful vegetables, and now more and more we also start to get some fancy little treats here and there.
Ta-da! Well, this is our oyster mushroom production, and I grow oyster mushrooms on straw, and the straw is in these black bags, and here's one where you can see what is in there. You see the straw, and all the white stuff is mycelium, which is like the living body of the mushrooms. And then is packed into plastic, and the plastic has little holes, and through the holes at the right time the mushrooms, the fruit bodies, appear. Our kitchen chef will be really happy. Look, Mark, have a look.
Oh, we even have more. Great.
Here you go.
Thank you. Ah. Enjoy your lunch. I certainly like what I'm doing. For me, this is the direct and best way of actually being of service to a bigger plan, to actually support the people who want to set up a healing biotope. And this is the very basic support I can give, and this is something I really enjoy to do.
I mean, a new culture will need a new technology, or a new technological paradigm. Like the culture, today's technology is based a lot on exploitation, and like the culture, it's shifting now to cooperation. Particularly, energy provision has long been used as a way of controlling people, and so a new culture where human beings live freely, connected with each other, but without having to take power by controlling other people. We need energy technologies that are appropriate for that, and solar energy is one of the nearest. The sun gives us vastly more energy than we need, so there's no energy shortage. And our work is, to me, it's a start. I mean, there are a lot of people working on energy technology around the world, and we start to explore the possibilities. I'm sure that the technologies of a truly free culture will look quite different to how we see them at the moment, but we're working to get there. So we work, also we try to work differently within a team, so that the team lives more heartfully and more fully and more energetically, also producing as a result more heartful, more energetic technologies. And we have for sure a long way to go. It feels to me like we're just starting to get to know the sun a tiny little bit. We still think of the sun in terms of heat and in terms of kilowatt hours and the normal engineering terms, which is also, it's also a perfectly valid way of looking at it, but also to know that this is our source of life, that the sun is the love that sustains us, that the sun is something like our cosmic cooperation partner. I don't want to sound too esoteric on this, but the sun is also a part of life and gives us so freely our energy. We can also appreciate that and work with that. We don't need to steal fire.
Also hier sehen wir den Anfang der Beetbearbeitung. Das sind die sogenannten Broadforks, also die Breiterdgabeln, wo wir jetzt anfangen für die Herbsteinsaat die Erde zu bewegen, zu lockern. Also ich lebe jetzt seit 10 Jahren wieder in Tamera. Ich kenne Tamera seit 19 Jahren und meine Arbeit am Garten ist für mich immer schon so gewesen, dass es ein Teil der Heilungsarbeit ist, nicht nur an der Erde, sondern auch an sich selber, weil es den Menschen eine Art von Fokussierung, Orientierung gibt. Also wo sie im Sinne von Karma-Yoga nennen wir das oder Meditation, wo man einfach zur Ruhe kommt und einfach seine Themen und seine Gedanken, die man so hat, einfach auf eine andere Art reflektieren kann. Und der Garten bietet es an. Und die Art der Arbeit, des Körperbezogenes mit einfachen Werkzeugen.
Hoje é dia de São Martinho, festa do outono, e hoje estamos no Centro Cultural de Tamera, em Alentejo, Portugal. Hoje é um dia especial porque 2 vezes por ano fazemos um mercado onde convidamos gente que faz produtos e serviços aqui na região. E para nós é um evento importante de encontrar passos mais e energia mais para uma autonomia regional que possa estar disponível para todos, em todos os aspectos, em água, comida, em tudo. Então, hoje, como você pode ouvir a música em vivo, e vamos a vir a descobrir o que temos hoje.
Okay, I think we're ready. Great.
Wir sind hier im Hundeprojekt von Tamera. Wir befinden uns hier mitten im Gehege. Das ist 1 Hektar Land, was eingezäunt ist. Hier leben zurzeit 11 Hunde, die wir aktiv aus schlechten Situationen rausgeholt haben. Und die leben hier friedlich als Gruppe zusammen. Wir haben angefangen mit Tierfeuerwehr. Das ist jetzt schon 10 Jahre her, wo ich mit den Kindern gefahren bin mit dem Pickup und haben die Hunde, die angebunden waren, hier irgendwo in der Pampa mit Wasser und Futter zu versorgen. Das Problem, was dabei entstanden ist, dass der Bauer sich nachher auf uns verlassen hat und hat gesagt, ja, die kümmern sich ja um meine Hunde, und er hat dann selber fast gar nichts mehr gemacht. Und daraus ist dann die Idee von dem Gehege entstanden.
I love my job. I love the horse courses we do with the humans, where the knowledge with the horses comes together with the human knowledge, and it combines great. I love to see the human being that comes in the beginning of the course, is very shy, very insecure maybe, or very arrogant, but behind the arrogancy there lies this insecureness. And through the work with the horses, by just being with the horse, doing very simple exercises, the person, like the mask can fall. The walls the person built it throughout his life, they can just drop. And what comes out is like this shining, where it's just the truth, and where the being itself come out.
Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you. I want to go out.
Very nice.
And to work with the horses, to read them and to see their pure truth, and by this be able to transmit it to the human, and that the human also can open up and show his truth and feels like it's totally okay where he is. And I love this process, to get to know the true human being that is behind the face that enters the first time in the door.
So we are entering now our atelier, Casa Sandra, where we are already working for 3 weeks on our sculpture. And you see a lot of small little models, which we did also in spring already and now in the last 3 weeks. And we decided to choose this one here. And after quite a long process and of thinking about what could be the right form and expression for a sculpture, big sculpture, and now we did it one step bigger. This is the 1:5 proportion. To have a real detailed model to then build it really in big. It should be at the end 4.50 meters high and should stand in the middle of in the center of the cultural center in Tamera.
The main thing for art in our time, I think, is to create what Simon spoke about, is to create icons for a future without war and to activate in the observer this inner dream, this inner frequency of peace, this inner insight, this inner inspiration. And so art without words often, sometimes also with, but mostly without words, can convey, can transport on a different level. Yeah. Things that we generate here, and we hope many more people in the world do generate and actually are doing. Thanks.
Dito. Tamera currently has a school. It's in development, and we're in a process of transition where we are making concrete steps towards becoming an official school here in the Alentejo. So here we have the school building for the older. This is the second and third ciclo, and right now they have art class. For the children, there is a social continuum. It's not just that they come to school and then they go home and that it's two separate worlds. Here actually there's a lot of collaboration and cooperation. They are my friends, they are people I see daily. I'm speaking of the parents now. And this is an important aspect of the education of the child. So it looks like we have special class going on in there. I'm not sure, perhaps math or perhaps the arts. But this place is the workshop. This is a place where the kids, with all their energy and wish to manifest, can come work with wood, work with metal. You know, we do many projects here. And here we have the primaria. This is the youngers. And here we have English, German, and Portuguese all coming in. It's a very multilingual school. One important aspect for a school for me is to realize that a school is not just a place. A school is a center point for a whole world around where the children and the youth can really go for their questions. And they go for their curiosity, their research. And one thing I like about this school is that it's embedded in a place with a lot of ecological knowledge, a lot of social knowledge, a lot of knowledge in love and contact with animals. And so a greater vision for this school is that it's not just about being in the classroom here reading books, but actually out with professionals in nature where they can come in contact with life as it's presented to them. Yeah, so here we have the pagoda, and this is where they do all types of activities, sports. We have aerial silks. We have trainers of acrobatics come in, and yeah, it's a place to put out energy and to play.
Yeah, wow, so many interesting people doing so many interesting things in Tamera. And I think now it's time to take a little step back and look at the bigger picture of this whole situation. So there are 200 people living on this piece of land, working together on creating this bigger vision. But we've seen now the people in their individual jobs, but not so much community life or how they are all cooperating on a bigger plan. And actually there's a book that came out of Tamera, not the first one, but the latest one, and it's called Terra Nova, Global Revolution and the Healing of Love. And in this book, the author and the co-founder of Tamera, Dieter Doom, he writes, Terra Nova describes a vision for a new culture, an earth free of war, a society free of violence, a love free of lies, and a life free of fear. The author outlines this new earth not only in theory, but also writes from his direct experience of its emergence. This book presents the essence of nearly 40 years of pioneering work in establishing functioning communities. If you want to get that, go ahead, why not? I just thought I'd show it up here once, because now we're going to listen to Dieter Doom for a short moment, and then there will be another block of some of the working areas of Tamera, but where we get a better idea of the social sustainability that the people are striving for. So let's start with Dieter Doom.
Wir sind heute in der Lage, die Geschichte zu durchschauen. Wir sind sowas wie das Auge der Evolution. Wir können hinschauen, was wir gemacht haben. Und wir alle waren irgendwie beteiligt daran. Ich war auch beteiligt. Aber eben, wir sind das Auge der Evolution. Wir können erkennen, was für einen Wahnsinn wir angerichtet haben auf dieser Erde. Und wie heute Milliarden von Menschen und von Tieren unter diesem Wahnsinn leiden. Und da wir das verstehen können, können wir auch den Schalter drehen, um den Wahnsinn zu beenden. Und das müssen wir tun, weltweit. Ich habe das Buch geschrieben, damit es möglichst schnell in die Welt kommt und sich weit verbreitet. Es ist nicht der Wahrheit letzter Schrei. Es ist der Notruf der Erde, der durch dieses Buch geht, und ein Angebot für die Heilung. Und alle, die da mitdenken, mögen ihre Beiträge leisten, damit ein World Council, eine Weltkooperation zustande kommt für die Gründung von Gemeinschaften in allen Ländern, die nach diesen Lebensprinzipien arbeiten.
Peace work for us is healing work. When you look at the wars that are happening on this planet, when you see look at the environmental destruction, when you see all these crises, you see that they are based on a civilizational disease. It is the occupation of the human heart, of the whole human culture by a virus of fear and violence, you could say. And so when we speak about peace, it is much more than just a political reform or of getting away with arms and arms production, even though this is of course totally important. But in the core, it is really healing this civilizational disease of fear, of violence that has separated us, alienated us from one another and from nature. Because it is only due to this alienation, this sense of separation that we feel and is so deeply ingrained, that it is even thinkable that I can violate nature, that I can kill another human being. And so peace work has a lot to do with creating
a new form of life that allows people to overcome this kind of programming of fear. And this has to do with relearning the ways of community, has to do with relearning the ways of cooperating with all beings. And it is through this process of restoring trust and cooperation in all the different levels that a healing biotope emerges, and that we can dissolve this this disease of fear. We feel it to be very personal, a very personal issue, but in fact it is a cultural disease that we can only heal through a cultural reorganization by creating a new culture based on trust and cooperation. So welcome, this is the IGP. This is our office where we are working. This is our website team, designers. Hello. Andy, our website boss. Hello. Coordinator of the new Tamera.org. Yes, I think it's the most beautiful office of the world, honestly.
The most beautiful people in the world.
The most beautiful people in the world, yes. The IGP is the Institute for Global Peace Work. This is the networking and outreach agency of Tamera, you could say. So we are a team of 10 to 15 people working on networking, on connecting this healing biotope 1 Tamera with the world, with other communities, with thought leaders, with people that are working in social movements. So we are weaving a network for a system change on this planet, and particularly for the creation of healing biotopes as this cultural crystals that can inspire people around the world what a new global culture can look like.
Love is an issue that unites all humanity, no matter from which background, from which religion, from which country. Everybody has this longing of love. And then if we look, for example, the Hollywood movies, usually they stop with a happy end. So when they just found each other and are happily in love. But there are no movies that show how does it actually continue. And there are rarely people who after 30 years of being with each other love each other more. I don't say that it doesn't exist, but the majority is what we see also is an increasing rate of divorces, of betrayal, and so on and so forth. So healing of love, we also try to develop circumstances in which the love between people, like this initial spark of love, can actually grow. And what we found out so far is that it requires trust. I think love and trust have to go hand in hand, and trust comes from truth. And so we have to create surroundings where we can actually learn to show again the fullness of who we are, so the full truth of who we are.
Good morning. Today we are the lunch shift, and we have not so many people more for to cook, because it's actually the last real day today in Tamera from the season, and so we want to make something really delicious. And we still have cabbage. We want to make cabbage in the oven, and we will have some cauliflower surrounded by chickpeas flour, so that we have some proteins also in the food. A lot of people come to Tamera and they say, wow, we would love to come deeper in touch with community. And they often project like the people who live constant in Tamera, they are the community. And I can say the most important is that people experience community.
So what it means, what own steps we have to do to create community, to create trust, to create responsibility, to feel and to hold other people, to understand, to create compassion between people. And so I feel the guest center is a place where we really can create this space for guests, also when they come for a short time, so to nourish this kind of longing in people. This year, for me, it was a strong experience that it is possible with quite new people who come from very different places from the world to create a community field. And so we not only cook together, we also have social times together where we study the geistic frame from Tamera. And people have a space to share about their inner processes, and so it creates after a very short time, it creates a field of trust. And in a field of trust, I can say everything is possible. Hello, dear people. Welcome to our lunch. It's a little bit strange because we were such a huge circle, so many people, and we said already goodbye to a lot of people, and we give blessings to their way, that they receive, that they have a safe trip to their places where they go, and that they are received with open heart from friends. And yeah, that they can take what they experience in Tamera to their heart and to their life. And today we have the pleasure to try our first olive oil, the olives which you harvest. And you see it's really green, rich green. Gratitude is one of the most important things in life because it opens my view to the world, and to see that we here in this place special, but also in the Western world, we are so privileged. We are so privileged. We have the time, we have food, we have shelter, we have clear water. So we have the privilege and the responsibility to take care for how we want to live in the future and how we want to live now. And we have to take this kind of responsibility. And we have so much knowledge what to do, and it's time to make a decision to change our life in this direction, and not to continue this destruction we do in the world. Yeah, that's, I think, the most important.
Ach ja, Ina, the kitchen mama. I was working with her for 2 months last year, and what a statement. What a final statement, because yeah, that's it for today almost. Some insights into the new culture that's being manifested in Tamera, and some of the things going on in the project. And now I have some big news, actually. I will go back to Tamera in 1 week already. I will start in the beginning of March 2017, 3 months work and study time in Tamera. And I will keep making videos in this time in some shape or form. So for sure, if you are curious about this project, stay tuned on my channel. You will find out more for sure. And I can also say that I have a lot of more footage, obviously, making this film, and especially when it comes to the interviews, I tried to not make it too long in this version of the film. Of course, there are some longer statements, but we need to go into some depths here and there. So that's the version that I'm happy with now. But obviously, there's a lot of more footage, and if you have somebody in particular where you would like to hear some more, just let me know in the comments or send me a message. And time after time, I might publish some more of the interviews or of the footage to show you guys some more, because there's really some good stuff, and obviously we're staying on the surface in many areas here in this film, and probably a lot of questions come up. How do they do this? How do they do that? And so on and so on. And so yeah, just let me know if you want to hear more of this. I just want to sum up that for me, after having spent 6 months in this project and now also going back there, and actually after like 3 years almost of traveling around and looking for alternative ways of creating a beautiful life on this planet, I'm very happy to go back to Tamera, because it's a place where a lot of research has been done over the years, and by now functioning model is being researched with and experienced, and every time I was there I was very inspired and took a lot away for my personal journey, but also to really trigger this vision or this trust into this whole thing unfolding, that there are alternatives and the knowledge is there for solutions, and let's put our focus and attention on those solutions. That's it for today. I have one nice song now coming from a friend of mine, Georg Bermuda, and some images, random images of my time in Tamera. And then that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys for listening once again to this really long one, and see you soon. Ciao.
Oh, oh. Ich träum von Revolution, aber nicht mit Steine schmeißen und laut sein. Von Revolution, und zwar zuerst im Kopf, im Herzen und dann draußen. Ich träum von Revolution und nicht von Aggressivität und Wut und dem Rauschsein. Von Revolution, dass wir uns neu erfinden und zusammen was aufbauen. Denn noch weiß keiner, wie es geht. Hinzugehen, wo noch nichts steht. Ja, keiner weiß, wie es sich so lebt. Ohne Zwang, ohne Problem. Ich träum von mehr Respekt und mehr Bewusstsein beim täglichen Einkauf. Von weniger, was bringt's schon? Und mehr, das find ich gut, da mach ich mit, geh ich steil drauf. Ich träum von freiem Strom, denn die Sonne scheint für alles und jeden im lebenden Kreislauf. Revolution, Massenboykott, Pilotprojekte und nem ganz neuen Ablauf. Denn noch weiß keiner, wie es geht. Hinzugehen, wo noch nichts steht. Doch der Wille loszugehen entsteht. Und schon ein paar haben sich bewegt. Und diese Leute machen Revolution, denn sie machen Dinge anders als gewohnt. Schicken ihre Kinder nicht zur Schule, sondern sie lassen sie frei, lassen sie los und sind einfach liebevoll dabei. Ich träum von Revolution, von Brüdern und Schwestern ohne Konkurrenzkampf. Von Revolution, von Einigkeit und Gleichheit und Fairness unter den Geschlechtern. Ich träum von Ruhe und Frieden und weniger Menschen, die täglich unfassbaren Stress haben, von weniger Bürokraten und einem ganzen Volk von Dichtern und Denkern. Ich denk, man weiß schon lange, wie es geht, hinzugehen, wo noch nichts steht, woraus Veränderung entsteht. Ja, man muss einfach endlich gehen und dann macht man Revolution, man macht Revolution, denn man macht Dinge anders als gewohnt, so, und schickt zum Beispiel seine Kinder nicht in die Schule, nein, man lässt sie frei, lässt sie los und ist lieb